Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got some Battlefield 3 gameplay for you. This is the first Battlefield 3 gameplay on my channel in almost a year, and it's probably going to be the last Battlefield 3 gameplay because I don't play Battlefield anymore. That being said, or Battlefield 3 mind you, I'll pick up Battlefield 4, I'm going to play it, try it, post it a little bit, but I quit playing Battlefield 3 just under a year ago, and for a good reason. Most of my commentaries on this channel are of a very positive nature, a feel good, improve your life, that sort of thing. This one's going to be more negative today, so get ready for it. Battlefield 3 had a major flaw, one that I just absolutely couldn't deal with, or it was too frustrating for me, and that wasn't really with the game. I enjoyed playing this game. Matter of fact, when I had this in Modern Warfare 3, I played this one more than Modern Warfare 3. I was actually on Battlefield more than COD, but the problem was with the community. It was just really, I think the Battlefield community is one of the more toxic communities in gaming, and it competes with the League of Legends community in toxicity just in a different way, and they really kind of ran me off, and I had no intentions to come back. So I've kind of got a story to tell to go with this to kind of keep you in the loop and tell you what's going on, and I think it would be best if I started with the beginning. By the way, this is console gameplay just because it was easy to boot up my Xbox and go, and I didn't have to download the 12, 13, 14 gigabytes of data or whatever's on the PC, so I could just get this kind of quick today. But like I said, I used to play this more than Modern Warfare 3. I actually enjoyed Battlefield 3 more than Modern Warfare 3, but not as much as I liked Black Ops. Black Ops has been pretty good to me. I've had fun in that game. I did Battlefield 3 in depth. Occasionally I get requests to do an in-depth in Battlefield 3, and I did it. I did maybe 10 episodes, some here on my channel, some on Respawn. I did one on the video games channel. I also did a series called Goofing Off in Battlefield 3, just kind of like a montage of clips that me and my friends would do. Just nothing particularly serious, but it was fun. Crashing jets, suicide helicopters, knifing, that sort of thing. And it was all good, and it was fun, and the game was good, and then the community hit me like a ton of bricks. It was just overwhelming. I was completely not expecting it. So what I do on this channel, if any of you are coming in from somewhere else, is I usually do gun guides. Like this gun does 300 damage, or my bad, it'll be like 30 damage up close, it'll drop off to 15 damage, and I think it's 17 in Battlefield, and it shoots at 658 RPM, which means it'll kill you in so many seconds. It's not as good as this gun, but this one shoots faster, and this one has less. And we get really technical about it. I did the same thing for Battlefield. I covered attachments first because the weapons are a little bit more complicated. They've got more factors going into them than Call of Duty weapons, but they didn't go over quite as well. The views weren't as high, the like ratios weren't as high, the feedback was mostly good. There was some negative feedback here and there, but perhaps the most frustrating feedback was that a lot of people that played Battlefield told me that my opinion didn't count because I also played COD or because I wasn't a true Battlefielder. And I would say, you know, these in-depth episodes aren't very much opinion, they're numbers. They're really hard numbers ripped from the game code, and if I tell you that, hey, this gun is just critically underpowered and it kills slower than the other ones, that's not my opinion because I played this game and I feel like that. That's because what it's actually said. That didn't go over particularly well. I had a lot of comments about how I shouldn't be giving tips because I'm not even such and such a level in Battlefield, that if I play Call of Duty, or I mained Call of Duty, even I posted more Call of Duty than I did Battlefield, so I gave the perception that I played more Call of Duty than Battlefield. But it was like, oh, you don't only play Battlefield? Well, your opinions don't count. Or, you know, I'm a Battlefield veteran. I've played this game since it was in beta in Battlefield 1943, blah, 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 and I know way more than you, and you're just totally wrong. And it was a sort of elitism, but it wasn't just limited to the comments. Now, comments are bad. This is YouTube. This is the internet. You get those sort of bad comments all over the place, and I'm used to that. I kind of got thick skin with that. But then the private messages started to roll in, and the private messages were what really started getting to me, what really made me not want to play Battlefield anymore. And I probably got, I'd say, somewhere between 200 and 300 of these before I called it quits. Very similar messages, but a Battlefield player would contact me and they'd send me a message saying that they want me to stop posting Battlefield to my channel. They feel that me, as a Call of Duty player, as a representative of the Call of Duty community, they don't want me to show Call of Duty players Battlefield gameplay. They don't want them to, they don't want them to know that Battlefield exists. They don't want them to think that Battlefield is a better game, or they don't want them to try Battlefield and like it because they don't want Call of Duty players playing Battlefield, because Battlefield is for true gamers only, and only true gamers will enjoy this, and they don't want any little kids running around quickscoping. They don't want to bring any of that YOLO 420, blunt swag, scopes, XX, like gamer tags in here. They don't want any of this clans, this competitive play, this esports. They don't want any of that in their Battlefield because that's not what true gamers do. That's what children do, that's what idiots do, that's what frat boys do, that sort of thing. And the true gamers, really awesome, good gamers like FPS connoisseurs play Battlefield, and everybody else is just down there in the dregs in Call of Duty. Now, again, these messages would be pretty easy to ignore. I get some crazy ones in my inbox every day. About once a day I get a message about shadow people and psychotropic medicine, or somebody that's been sexually molested or something like that, and I kind of get used to it. I kind of know what to expect, but this caught me off guard because oftentimes the comments that are angry like that, they're rage comments. They're written with no capital letters, no punctuation, no spelling, no thought process, other than the just straight train of mind, just like, COD players are the suck. We are not want COD players in our Battlefield because Battlefield is for good gamers only. And that's okay, you know, I know those kind of people, I know how to avoid them, but these were very well-written messages, well thought out, planned, executed, long, proper spelling, sentences, structure, everything, and then like blah blah blah, you know, I wish you the best in playing Battlefield, but I don't want other people to play my game, and it was global. It wasn't just US, there were people overseas, it came from everywhere, and they just kept piling in and piling in and piling in. And when I got online and I look around, I usually, when I go look for information on Reddit, and then on the internet, it's on Reddit, or it's on IGN, or it's some sort of specific forum, and I found that the Battlefield players on those forums were actually some of the more obnoxious ones. Again, not for writing hate comments like, lol, you guys suck, but more of the elitism, more that Battlefield is the true game, or that this game is a true realistic military simulator, was the one that I saw the most often. They'd compare Call of Duty and Battlefield inevitably because they're competing games, and people would say, I play Battlefield because it's more realistic, and Call of Duty is just like arcade game, it's for kiddos and children, but Battlefield has this real military feel to it, and they'd say that over and over again. I'm sitting here, real military feel, and for those of you that don't know, it actually takes more shots to kill in Battlefield than Call of Duty. But we've got magical healing bags, we've got our revive paddles, we've got suicide helicopters and jets, and people putting C4 on cars and running them into things, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And it's like military shooter, or sorry, military simulator, really. And I don't know why I didn't notice that guy disarming the bomb. My Battlefield skills are not exactly up to par. I'm struggling a little bit here in this game. And, you know, I would try to say something back, I would say, well, you know, they're both actually pretty unrealistic games. If you've ever fired a weapon or ever been in combat, you would know that. Nope, Battlefield is a real military shooter, and it has real physics, and the graphics are better. And the graphics are way better on PC than this console. Graphics are actually kind of bad on console. But the flood of Battlefield elitism, of hipsterism, I actually did a video a while back called BF3 Hipsters versus COD Fanboys, and that kind of explains the opinions in a less thought out way. I feel like Battlefield players, or the stereotypically toxic Battlefield player, is a hipster or an elitist. Now, the toxic Call of Duty player is like some fat frat bro that's half drunk or high and calling everybody faggots and trying to quick scope, and his gamer tag is like 420 blazing XX scopes or something like that. The toxic Battlefield player is a Battlefield player that plays on PC, and he talks down to console players because they're just a bunch of console peons, and that they drag the game down, and if they didn't exist, then his PC version would be better, and he hates that DICE gives them any support. Or I remember just way back in the day, there was this thread on Reddit, like when Battlefield Beta was out, and somebody asked, you know, the SVU, which I hope was the right sniper rifle, they say, why do we have these two-shot sniper rifles? If I'm shooting at people from really, really far away, it's hard to land two body shots and kill them. And the top-voted comment was, because you're supposed to get headshots, you fucking console peasant. And that's a really real thing that I had to deal with in Battlefield, because when I was posting in depth or posting gameplay or something, anytime I posted console gameplay, the PC crowd would just lay into me. Only noobs play console. Console's terrible, graphics are terrible, you should feel bad about yourself for playing console. Console's only for people that are too poor to get a PC. And this is something that I didn't normally see in the COD community or in League of Legends. Well, League of Legends has its own different toxic player. That's more like a person that blames you for everything that goes wrong. But I feel like a Battlefield player that's toxic would be like dressed like a hipster and saying, I built my own custom graphics card. I forged the silicon out of the mines in Africa and hand forged the steel diodes and blah 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 so that I could run on super graphics on my master race PC and talk bad about all these little crybabies and children that play Call of Duty and just crazy stuff like this. And after a while, I just said, you know what, to hell with it. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to be part of this community. I don't want any of this. Like, this is not fun for me to be constantly talked down to on every sort of public forum that exists about Battlefield, because, you know what, like, I have an opinion about Battlefield, even if it's not a numerical one. Well, guess what? I didn't play Battlefield 3 or when it was in pre-alpha because I downloaded a pirated copy, or I haven't been a Battlefielder for the last 18 years, or I have played Call of Duty, but because of these things, my opinions aren't invalid. It's not a reason for you to talk down to me. It's not a reason for you to say that everybody on console is terrible, or all these other sort of things, or, you know, snipers suck, medics suck, this sucks, that sucks. And I just didn't care for it. Now, I'm not saying this to say that, oh, Call of Duty, yeah, that has a great community. Everybody's friendly. No, Call of Duty's massively negative and pessimistic and frustrating to deal with. But that's usually the tryhards and ragers. I've kind of got them under control. Or, you know, in League of Legends, it's people that think that they know everything and that you owe them everything. But oddly enough, it's like the intellectual crowd on Battlefield that's the bad ones, and not the random derps. It's like the smarter the Battlefield player, the bigger asshole they're going to be, and that's why I don't play this game. And you can see the exact same sort of elitism going on right now with Call of Duty Ghosts versus Battlefield 4. And I'm saying all this, I'm going to get Battlefield 4, I'm going to play it, I'm going to post it. But they have this new thing, and this is the biggest thing you'll see. It's called Levolution. The levels are destructible. They change as you go. You know, you can crash the ship. You can take down the skyscraper, that sort of thing. And I played it at E3. And the perception is that Battlefield has true real-life physics and a perfect destruction engine and all this kind of stuff. And if I were to go on a forum and say, no, the destruction in Battlefield is basically the same thing that's in COD, except there's more of it, or it's coded to work better or differently, complete rage. Like, Battlefield players cannot accept the fact that the destruction is pre-programmed, but there's a lot of it. Like that old Bad Company of sinking buildings, or that Red Faction kind of destruction, that you know, that Crisis kind of physics engine. That's not here. There's just a whole ton of pre-programmable destructible objects, and it really is more than Call of Duty, and it's going to affect the maps more than Call of Duty. But you can't go and say that, hey, you know that that bus that falls over in Call of Duty? Yeah, that's the exact same thing as the ship that crashes into the island, except completely different scales. Because, like, if you did that on a COD map, you'd wipe out the entire map. But it's a similar sort of concept. It's not just this game, but a lot of FPSs and multiplayer games are experimenting with Levolution to allow players to interact with the environment more, but without having to code a really super hardcore, robust physics engine, which even the new consoles can't properly handle very well. But that sort of discussion never really happens, and it's been very frustrating, and that's why I no longer play Battlefield 3. You won't see any more Battlefield 3 after this. You're probably going to see some Battlefield 4 whenever I get it, because it looks like a fun game, and I want to play it, and I want to try to enjoy it, but I don't want to be told how bad I am at it if I play it on Xbox or PS4, or if I don't get headshots or whatever. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're in the Battlefield community, I hope I didn't insult you too much. That's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drifter out.